What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video I'm gonna show you all the secrets that you need in order to obtain 3 million points on the War Scourge 100% free to play. I'm gonna tell you all the exploits for node number 5 and node number 10 so you can beat it without spending any money. I already did all the work for you. I'm gonna show you exactly what you have to do, how it works step by step so you can be successful in this War Scourge. This was way beyond my expectations. I was not expecting to get such a high score. I was like doing it casually. And the other thing is that you don't need to buy someone else's account in order to be successful. This player right here, he had 25 million TCP last month and now he has 36 million TCP. And the player ID also doesn't match, so I don't know exactly what's going on here, but yeah, you don't need to get 10 million TCP in 1 month or trade accounts with someone else in order to be successful on this War Scourge. And you also don't have to use the private server in order to test this before everyone else in order to be successful on this War Scourge. So I'm going to tell you all the exploits. Once again, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know for node number 5 and node number 10 so you can achieve these 3 million points free to play. Just make sure that you don't do a lot more than me and you don't push me out of the top 2500, which is my goal. I don't care about top 500. My goal is top 2500. Okay, so with all that information, let's get started. I'm gonna show you the nodes first, and then I will show you the stats of the characters, which as always changes you might want to consider, and also if there is anything special about the T-Force or the gear or something like that. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take a look at node number 5. Okay, so here we are ready for node number 5, and this was the team that I used: Heimdall, Lady Thor, Valkyrie and Hawkeye. It doesn't really matter the position of the characters for node number 5. Hawkeye, as I mentioned on my previous video, is literally a cheat code. He allows you to one-shot these nodes fairly easy because he applies blind to the primary target, and he also has 50% chance of applying blind to other characters. We are using Heimdall here because we are using a Scourge that applies blind to us, so we want to avoid that as much as possible. And overall, that's pretty much it. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take a look at this in action. I'm a little bit sleepy. I need to go sleep, so I apologize for the lag that sometimes I have between words, but it's 11 AM and I still didn't sleep. Okay, so we are going to apply blind to Omega Red as the primary target, and you can see right here that we also got blind on Strange Supreme and Psylocke. Now it's convenient for us to get blind on Negasonic and also on Silver Samurai, but if you don't have the perfect RNG, just go with it, see what happens, maybe it will be fine as well. Okay, so you can see I'm using a lot of basic attacks. I'm going to use the basic attack with Thor, I'm going to use the basic attack with Heimdall. Basic attack with Heimdall is very important because it calls someone for assist, and that's going to be helpful because it will apply vulnerabilities, it will remove positive effects, and it can also remove some of those death proofs. So it's very convenient to use the basic of Heimdall over the other abilities. Okay, so we are going to use the ultimate of Lady Thor on Omega Red so we can blind him once again. So now he failed the ultimate and now he's also going to fail the special. So we have the second wave of enemies with the splash damage, and with the activation of the Thor passive everyone got deleted. So now you just have to worry about this Omega Red, the Silver Samurai, and also what's her name, Madeline Pryor. Madeline Pryor also problematic, but you have to also to worry about that Dazzler. She can be annoying, she can apply slow to this team, and they are already extremely slow, so I decided to go for the stun to make sure that she doesn't get any additional turn meter. And with all those attacks from Thor, he completely destroyed everyone. Okay, so we are going to use the ultimate from Heimdall there. It's not super important. just trying to get some damage on Heimdall, because as I mentioned before, we want to keep him somewhere near the 50% because of node number 10. It's going to be extremely important. Even if it's not the case, don't worry about it, but it's helpful if he's a little bit lower than normal. Okay, so Negasonic, we are going to give her a little bit of damage, and we have nothing to worry about here. So it's just so basic. You bring Hawkeye here, and you pretty much instant win, because he's such a cheat code against Omega Red. You blind everyone with Hawkeye, and then you blind once again with Lady Thor, and it's pretty much game over just because of that combo. Okay, so that was now the number 5, and now let's take a look at the characters to see what gear they have and what do you have to take into consideration in terms of their stats and ISO weight and so on. Okay, so let's take a look at the characters that we used. Once again, as I mentioned before, the position of the characters on node 5, it doesn't matter. With the Hawkeye, as I mentioned before, level 75, gear tier 14 is going to be good enough. You just want to make sure that you have the ISO weight to fortify on him for the additional barrier and the minor defense up to reduce the damage by 25%. Now, here we have Valkyrie with the healer ISO weight, and healer ISO weight is going to be extremely important on node number 10. And in terms of gear, we have her at gear tier 15. It's okay, it's the maximum that you need in order to get these 3 million points. And I have 6 yellow stars for her, but even with 5 yellow stars, it's gonna be fine. Her damage is not important, so you can pretty much you can even use her at level 75. But you need an additional increase of survivability to get these 3 million points, so the gear tier 15 will make a difference. In that regard, you don't have to rely so much on luck, so yeah, that's what I recommend for her. Now, in terms of Thor, I had him before on my previous video of the 2.4 million points. He was at level 80 and gear tier 15. Now he's level 85, gear tier 16. The gear tier 16 not exactly necessary. It would be better for you to just level him up and save the gear. It depends if you have more training materials or not. Because I don't have a lot of training materials, I just decided to use the Mystic gear because I have a lot of Mystic gear right now. Okay, so level 85, gear tier 16, or level 90, gear tier 15. Yellow stars and red stars because he's a farmable character. He should be pretty high in terms of yellow stars. You don't need 7 red stars, but of course, the higher the better. Then we have Lady Thor, and for Lady Thor I'm using her with Skirmisher ISO weight. It's extremely important for her to apply the negative effects to the enemies. That blind on Omega Red, extremely important. And we are rocking with her at 6 yellow stars and level 80, gear tier 15. So these are the 3 characters that you need to get up a little bit higher than the others to be successful on this War Scourge and to obtain these 3 million points. In terms of Heimdall, as you can see, gear tier 14 and level 75 is all that you need. It's probably even more than you need, because the gear on Heimdall, it's not important at all. You just want him to be alive at the beginning of the match, and you want him to die as fast as possible after. Okay, so that was node number 5. Now let's take a look at node number 10, and you'll see how ridiculous it is to deal with node number 10. I could almost one-shot it. I could probably one-shot if I would gear up these characters more, but it's unnecessary, and I did just fine. So let's take a look at that, because this is literally something else. It's an exploit. You are just exploiting the way this team works in order to win on that node number 10. So let's take a look at it, because I cannot describe it. Okay, so now we are going to take a look at node number 10, and I use the probabilities. I calculate the probability of V-Vision to attack the first lane or attack the second lane, and then the number of characters we have in front and in the back. So which one was going to be better? In the previous video I used Captain America at the back, and it was fairly convenient back then to use that, but I saw, based on the speed of the full Asgardians team, that it was no longer convenient to have the tank at the back, because most of the times, like 80% of the times, V-Vision attacks the front. So you just want to maximize, of course, the probability so the game does exactly what you want. So I had first this lineup in the back, so I changed I had Thor and Lady Thor at the front, and then I changed it around because I just saw that in terms of probabilities the game was not doing what I wanted, so I just changed it around. So we put Heimdall in the middle, and we are gonna put Heimdall in the middle because we want him to die. That's it. We just want Heimdall to be alive at the beginning of the match, and then we want him to die. After Heimdall dies, we want Sif to die, and then we want Valkyrie to die. Because the only characters that matter is Thor and Lady Thor. Those are the only two characters that matter to stay alive. So we are gonna wait for Heimdall to die, we're gonna wait Sif to die, and then we are gonna wait Valkyrie to die, and that's how we are going to win node number 10. Now, one of the biggest exploits that you can do here, it's not only the position of the characters, is also the ISO weight. So you can see that Valkyrie, you can see that Sif and Heimdall, they have green ISO weight. I changed it from ISO weight blue level 3 to level green ISO weight level 3 because you want them to die as fast as possible. If you change the ISO weight to a lower level, they will have less HP, so that is going to increase the chances of him dying as fast as possible. So this is a huge exploit, because like this you take more benefits out of the passive from Valkyrie. So this is just ridiculous, but yeah, I love this Scourge because it benefits players that are smarter. Like, you don't have to invest on Heimdall, you don't have to invest on Sif, you just want them to be alive long enough for them to die. It's so ridiculous. And it's funny because people that invested on Heimdall, people that took him all the way to level 85 and gear tier 14, 15, 16, everything, it's just a waste because it's unnecessary. Okay, let's take a look at this because it's so ridiculous. Like, this is literally an exploit. Okay, so here we go, let's get started. Changing the ISO weight to worst just for the characters to die. This is literally something else. But yeah, I like this. It rewards people who are smart. Okay, so we have the typical thing. Heimdall in the middle, so he's going to attack. He's going to be attacked more often, and we want to save the taunt from Sif for the second turn because we want Iron Man to do his ultimate on Sif. Okay, so Heimdall died. Everyone got buffed. Yikes! It's so crazy. And now we have defense up, offense up, immunity, so we are protected from the enemies. They don't do that much damage, so this is very convenient for us. And now this is gonna take a little bit because I was thinking exactly what I was going to do. So I decided to stun and to give counters to my characters because that War Machine is going to do some big damage to me, and I'm going to use those counters to destroy their team. And as I mentioned on my previous video, I'm using Thor with the Striker ISO weight because that double attack on single target is extremely important. Okay, so they are going to get ready to attack. We have all those counters ready, so you can see big smack on that Iron Heart. And now we are going to finally use the taunt, I think, or the ultimate. Okay, so I went for the luck. I don't recommend doing this. I went after the luck to see if I was able to finish that War Machine. Got lucky, I got enough attacks on him to remove the death proofs and for Thor to finish off. And then I also got lucky because Sif still got attacked by Iron Man. I usually do the taunt there just to guarantee that Iron Man attacks her. There it was not necessary. Okay, so now we are going to try to stun as many characters as possible, and we are going to get ready for the second wave and the third wave to drop. So let's see how many stuns we got. I think we only got one, and this is a moment where you want to attack the character with stun so you can turn rewind them. The characters need to be stunned for you to turn rewind, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so now we have the second wave dropping. And we also have the third wave at the same time. Now we want Sif to die. This is why you want to change the ISO weight from Sif from blue to green, so she dies as often as fast as possible. And we are going to taunt with her, just to make sure that all the attention is on her. You should keep your character with the highest gear next to her, so whether it is Thor or Lady Thor, it depends on your yellow stars and red stars. But yeah, if she's taunting, the splash damage is gonna hurt, so make sure that you keep a beefy character there. Okay, so we are going to get rid of this rescue. We don't want her to give more barrier and to remove negative effects. We really need those stuns in order to win. So I did the special. It will do the isolate attack either way. We were also able to clear the first Hulk Buster, and unfortunately Valkyrie died. I wanted Sif to die, but that's fine. It was not exactly what we wanted, but let's see what happens. Let's see if we are still able to win or not. And because of that taunt and the immunity, Sif is tanking like a boss. Now with Lady Thor, we are going to flip all those positive effects into negative effects on the enemies, and then we are going to focus on the most dangerous characters, which are going to be Jubilee and Bishop, maybe Deadlock. And at this point we are going to try to one-shot, but if we can't, let's put this easy enough for us to clear after with the remaining characters that we have available, Star-Lord T'Challa and Yondu and some Wave 1 Avengers. Okay, so we have the stun ready. Now I'm trying to analyze which character with the vulnerability I'm going to attack. So after the ISO weight destroys the characters I want. We got rid of Vision, we got rid of Jubilee. We only have 3 characters left, so even if we die now, that's fine, because we are still gonna be able to clear this fairly easy after. Because look at these characters, we have 3 characters on yellow health, so that's gonna be extremely easy for us to clear. I decided to go after Hulk Buster just to make sure that all of the characters would be at yellow health, so when I'm going to clear the node after with Wave 1 Avengers, it's gonna be extremely easy. Okay, so here we go. Once again, we are going to abuse of that Striker Isolate on Thor. It does so much single target damage, it's just great for this occasion. And let's see, I'm going after Bishop. I want to make sure that Bishop is very low. I don't want any funny stuff happening with him. And yeah, our US Guardians died, but that's fine. We almost one-shotted this node using this trick of changing the ISO weight in order to get the buffs that we wanted. And now we are going to just clear up 3 enemies left, like super easy. So we are going to use the same Hawkeye that we used before. We are going to use Hulk. We have also Yondu, Star-Lord T'Challa and Black Widow. So those are characters that are going extremely fast, and hopefully Star-Lord T'Challa will go so fast that he destroys everyone before they take action. And yeah, so this is a huge exploit that you can do with the Hero Asgardians. Change their ISO weight from blue to green, level 3 or level 0 or level 1 or whatever, so they have less HP, so they die in the order that you want them to die. Once again, the order is you want Heimdall to die first, then you want Sif to die second, and finally you want Valkyrie to die third. But as you saw, if it's Sif, Valkyrie, it's preferable that Sif dies first, but if it's Valkyrie, it's still possible to get some work done and make it easy for us to clear it up after. Okay, so you just have to reset a few times until Black Widow gives speed up for everyone. Hawkeye there with the one shot on Bishop. Then we have Deadlock trying to get rid of our Hawkeye, and you can see the minor defense up and the barrier doing great work. So you don't have to. You don't need to have like Hawkeye super big in order to do this. Now with Hulk, I was not exactly sure which attack I was going to do, and then we summon the minions just to health steal that Deadlock. We're going to steal the health of that Hulk Buster, and we are going to finish him off. So you can see, massive exploit that you can do. It requires very low investment. You don't need to buy other people's account, you don't need to break the terms of service doing unnecessary shit. You just have to be smart, and you just have to follow good advices like my own, and follow the strategies, exploiting the different abilities of the enemies in order to be successful. You also need private servers in order to test these before anyone else. With just a few days, this is like the 4th day of the War Scourge, and we are very close to the peak of what's possible to complete. For me, this is great. It required me like maybe 5 million gold investment, because I had to level up Thor a little bit, and also the Valkyrie. I had to level up both of them 5 levels each. So overall, if that's gonna guarantee me a 6 yellow star Red Hulk, or maybe even a 7 yellow star Red Hulk, that's a good investment, and that's what we have to do going forward, to get as much as you can without making a huge investment. There is people out there that bought these accounts and that broke the terms of service of the game and so on. Someone else invested and then they bought their account, but they had the Ravagers at level 90, they had the Waven Avengers at level 90 as well, they had the Hero Asgardians, everyone at level 90. What for? You don't need any of that. You can very easily, and even free to play, get 3 million points and get your 6 yellow star Red Hulk, maybe even 7. We'll see if the score holds up to top 500 or not. Even if it doesn't hold up, that's fine. As I said from the beginning, my goal is to get the top 2500, just in order to get that 6 yellow stars Red Hulk. Now, in terms of the gear of the characters that I used for the last node, we don't have Sif right here, but Sif is gear tier 14, level 75. Isolate green, because once again you want these characters to die as fast as possible. Heimdall, then Sif, then Valkyrie. For the second attack that I did, these are the characters that I used. Star-Lord T'Challa and Yondu, they were useful on the Gambit raid. That's why Yondu is a little bit higher than it's necessary for a normal gameplay experience. Hawkeye and Black Widow, as I mentioned before, level 75, gear tier 14, Isolate blue, Fortifier helps quite a lot, guarantees that they stay alive to use their abilities. But Black Widow, it's not even important for her to be geared up, you just need her to be alive, so she gives the speed up for everyone. And then if she dies, that's fine. It's even going to be helpful because you'll have space between Hulk and Yondu. And in terms of Hulk, he's maxed out pretty much because he's part of a Horseman character saga, and he's great overall. And we have to invest in him anyway for the apocalypse. Okay guys, so that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's how you can exploit the nodes number 5 and nodes number 10 in order to be extremely successful without requiring huge investments. You saw that the powers of my team, they were around 700,000. So yeah, you don't have to be a whale, you don't have to spend tons of money, you don't have to buy other people's account and break the terms of service, and even risk your account getting banned in order to be successful in Scourge. You just have to use the right characters at the right time, use a proper strategy, organize the position of the characters so you take advantage of the abilities of the enemies like V-Vision, and then based on that just have the right kill order, and easily 100% free to play you'll be able to obtain the 3 million points required for 6 yellow stars Red Hulk. Is yellow stars, red stars? I get confused. Is it also yellow Hulk? Anyway, so I need to go sleep now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the information helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.